This video demonstrates the proper procedures for determining the slump of hydraulic cement concrete. The slump test is considered applicable to plastic, cohesive concretes that have coarse aggregate particles up to 1.5 inches in size. Mixtures with larger aggregates shall be wet sieved over a 1.5-inch sieve. This test must be conducted on a flat, moist, non-absorbent, rigid surface. The tamping rod can be used to verify that the work surface is flat. The slump mold is filled in 3 layers of equal volume. The first layer fills the mold to a height of 2 5/8 inches. The second layer fills the mold to 6 1/8 inches, and the third layer fills the mold to the top. The equipment needed for this test includes a slump mold, scoop, tamping rod, and measuring device. The slump mold has the shape of an inverted cone. It has an 8-inch opening at the base, is 12 inches in height, with a 4-inch opening at the top. Molds can be made of metal or plastic. The scoop shall be sized to obtain representative material from the receptacle and not spill as concrete is placed in the mold. The tamping rod shall be a round, straight steel rod with a 5/8 inch diameter. It shall be approximately 24 inches in length, with the tamping end rounded to a hemispherical tip. A measuring tool with increments of 1/4 inch or smaller and a length of at least 12 inches is used to measure the slump. Optional tools include a funnel to aid the placement of concrete in the mold and a work surface or base plate on which to perform the slump test. Begin by properly obtaining a representative sample of fresh concrete. Next, ensure that the work surface is moist and that the interior of the mold has been dampened. From the start of filling through cleaning the perimeter, the mold is to be held firmly in place either by standing on the foot extensions or by securing the mold to a base plate. Using the scoop, place the first layer of concrete into the mold. Move the scoop around the opening to distribute the concrete. With the rod slightly inclined, consolidate the concrete by rodding the layer through its depth 25 times, no more and no less. Uniformly distribute the rodding strokes over the cross-section of each layer. Add the second layer of concrete to the mold. Rod the layer 25 times. With the rod inclined, penetrate through the second layer and just into the first layer. Add the third layer of concrete to the mold. Heap concrete above the mold before rodding is started. Rod the layer 25 times. The rod should penetrate through the third layer and just into the second layer. Keep an excess of concrete above the top of the mold at all times. If the concrete falls below the top at any time, stop and add concrete to the mold. Resume the rod count from where you left off. Using the tamping rod, strike off any excess concrete with a screeding and rolling motion. While continuing to hold the mold firmly in place, remove any concrete that has collected around the base during filling and strike off. Without moving the mold, shift your weight from the foot extensions to the handles, or remove the base plate clamps. Immediately raise the mold vertically in 5 ± 2 seconds. Do not twist or rotate the mold. Measure slump to the displaced original center of the top surface of the concrete. Measure and record the slump to the nearest 1/4 inch. Complete the slump test from the start of filling through removal of the mold in 2.5 minutes. Refer to the data sheet related to this training module for a copy of the data collected during this demonstration and any associated computations. Don't forget to clean your equipment.